When the bank letter came, Elena thought it was a mistake, until she saw the signature that wasn't hers. A plain envelope from Premier Auto Finance. Inside, a notice of delinquency. $31,000. 60 days past due. For a luxury sedan she'd never set foot in.
I never signed for a car loan.
The signature on the notice looked almost right, but the slant on the E was all wrong. She didn't call the bank. Not yet. She pulled up her credit report instead. A new loan, unpaid, had sliced her credit score by 140 points. Someone had forged her name and used documents from her own locked desk. Elena pressed her palms flat on the table, opened a folder, and started building a file. Then she picked up the phone. First the dealership, then her parents. Elena dialed Premier Auto Finance, her voice steady as she asked for the loan department.
We show a photocopied ID and a signed application. Is this regarding a dispute?
I need to confirm the origination date and the address on file.
The loan was originated on the 17th. The ID matches our records, ma'am.
The 17th. The very same week, Elena had been in Denver for a work conference.
Someone got into my locked desk and used my real driver's license.
She ended the call, then grabbed her keys and the folder. There was only one place to start. Her parents' house had a new silver sedan in the driveway, the exact make from the loan. Elena parked, gathered her file, and walked up the front steps without hesitation.
Let's see how they explain a loan I never signed.
Donna opened the door, her smile flickering, then tightening when she saw the folder tucked under Elena's arm.
Whose silver sedan is that in the driveway?
Brandon's. We helped him get it.
Helped him with a loan under my name. The one that's 60 days past due?
Elena, sweetheart, it was a family decision. We'd never do anything to hurt you.
We expected you'd understand. It's for your brother. He needed a car.
Did you sign for me? Did you put my name on those loan papers?
It was just paperwork. The bank needed a cosigner. We figured you'd be okay with it.
We do things for each other in this family. That's what family means. You know that.
They're lying. Now I need proof from the dealership.
Back in her apartment, Elena called the dealership's financing office, folder open on her knee. The receptionist's voice tightened when Elena asked for the full loan file. A pause. A transfer. Finally, Richard Cole's voicemail. She spoke clearly into the phone.
This is Elena Vance. I need the complete loan application and any supporting documents for the car financed under my name. Please call me back.
She hung up. The apartment was silent except for the hum of the fridge.
If the dealership won't cooperate, I'll have to get a court order.
She opened her laptop and began typing a formal records request, citing state disclosure laws. She attached the delinquency notice, the credit report, and a copy of her real driver's license. Then she sat back and waited. She'd give them until morning. By 10 o'clock the next morning, her phone still hadn't rung. Just after noon, her phone buzzed. The caller ID read Premier Auto Finance.
This is Elena.
Miss Vance, Richard Cole. I pulled your loan file, but there are privacy restrictions on releasing it.
The loan is in my name. I have a legal right to see every document.
I'll send what I can, but there's something else. Our signing room has a security camera.
The camera records every signing. It could show who walked into that room.
I need that footage. How soon can you get it?
It's archived, might be overwritten. I'll need to pull the backup. Give me a few days.
I'll wait. And please send the loan documents as soon as possible.
She ended the call, then wrote one word in her file: footage. A camera might prove everything. 3 days later, a thick manila envelope arrived from Premier Auto Finance. She sliced it open at the kitchen table. Inside, the original loan application, still bearing the dealer's cover sheet, and her name in bold print. She slid out the documents and laid them side by side. The signature caught her eye first.
That E, it's the same wrong slant from the delinquency notice. They didn't even practice.
Next to the application, a photocopied driver's license. Her photo, her address, her license number.
Someone used my real ID. They had access to my locked desk drawer.
She compared the loan signature to her own on the credit report. 2 different hands. The documentation was damning, but it still didn't identify the forger. Only the camera could do that.
This is enough for a fraud claim. I'll wait for Richard's footage before I decide the next step.
She placed the new evidence in her folder, a stack of paper that could either protect her family or dismantle it. The next afternoon, Elena dialed Richard's direct line. The phone rang 4 times before he picked up.
Still working on that backup. The server's been glitchy. I've got IT on it.
Is it still recoverable? Please be straight with me.
It should be. I won't promise what I can't deliver, but I haven't given up.
Elena hung up and stared at the stack of forged documents. The weight was grating on her nerves. Before she could calm her thoughts, her phone buzzed again. Donna Vance.
Sweetheart, it's Mom. We haven't heard from you since that conversation. Are you all right?
I've been busy with work. I am fine.
You've seemed distant. Your father and we just want to make sure you are not still upset about the car.
I am just handling some personal finances. Nothing to worry about.
Later that evening, a knock on her apartment door startled Elena. She wasn't expecting anyone.
Hey, sis. I was in the neighborhood and wanted to show off my new ride. Got a minute?
Brandon, come in. I was just going through some paperwork.
I wanted to thank you. The car's amazing. I know you helped make it happen.
Elena's smile froze. The warmth in his voice made her stomach twist.
He has no idea. He thinks I said yes. Mom and Dad lied to him too.
Mom and Dad said the paperwork was a hassle, but you came through. You are the best.
I am glad you like it. Drive safe.
She forced a nod. Confronting him now without the footage would only spark denial.
Brandon's innocent. This is on Mom and Dad. I'll tell him when I can prove it.
2 days later, Elena's phone rang early. Richard Cole's name lit up the screen.
Miss Vance, the footage is pulled. You'll want to see this in person.
What does it show? Can you tell me who signed?
I'd rather you see it yourself. It's unusual. Best that you come down.
Elena grabbed her keys. She didn't ask for details. She'd see for herself. The drive to the dealership felt longer than it should have. Every red light an eternity. She pulled into the lot, parked next to a row of new sedans, and walked toward the showroom. Richard met her at the entrance, his face unreadable.
This way, Miss Vance. I have the file ready.
She followed him past the sales floor, into the finance office, where a monitor waited, paused on a grainy still frame of the signing room. Richard gestured to the chair beside his desk. His voice, usually dry, had a somber edge now.
The camera is mounted in the ceiling corner. It records every signing from directly overhead. No blind spots. The bank requires a standard process. ID check, signature, witness. The whole thing is on tape.
He tapped a key, and the frozen frame from the signing room filled the monitor. The timestamp on the bottom corner matched the exact date of the loan. The day Elena had been 400 miles away.
I'll play it from the moment the signer entered. Maybe you should sit down.
Elena lowered herself into the chair, her eyes fixed on the screen.
My father, my mother. Whoever it is, there's no going back after this.
Richard's finger hovered over the play button. The office went silent, except for the computer's hum.
Ready?
Richard clicked play, and the grainy footage filled the monitor. A man walked in, shoulders hunched, a folder under his arm. He sat at the table, pulled a photocopied ID from his jacket, and laid it flat. The overhead angle revealed his face as he tilted his head to sign. Frank Vance. Elena's breath caught. Her father signed her name in slow, deliberate strokes, then slid the documents toward the dealer. Richard paused the video. The timestamp showed the 17th at 2:47 p.m. Elena had been presenting at a conference then.
That's not you, is it?
Number. That's my father. He didn't just co-sign. He forged the whole thing. Right down to my license.
Richard leaned back, his expression a mix of pity and professional dismay. He had seen enough. Elena stared at the frozen image of her father's hand on the pen. She finally had the truth, and with it, a decision no daughter should ever have to make.
I can provide a copy of this video and the stills. You'll need them if this goes to court.
He burned the footage to a USB drive and printed 3 keyframes: the ID slide, the signature, and Frank's face.
Thank you, Richard. You didn't have to do this.
He slid the envelope across the desk. Elena tucked it into her file, the weight heavier than before. The drive back was silent. She didn't turn on the radio. The gray sedan in her parents' driveway flashed across her mind. In her apartment, she locked the door, set the file on the table, and sat without turning on the lights. She stared at the USB stick, its blue casing small enough to hold her parents' entire betrayal.
This is enough to send them to prison. Fraud, forgery, identity theft. Or it's enough to make them undo what they did, if they ever want to be my family again.
She didn't draft the report that night. She just spread the documents on the table and stared at them, weighing her options. The next morning, Elena woke before dawn, opened her laptop, and laid the evidence beside it. She began typing a formal fraud report, attaching the footage stills and the forged application. The cursor blinked over the send button. She didn't click it.
If I send this, Dad faces charges. Mom could be an accessory. Brandon loses everything.
She pictured Brandon's face, so grateful, so unsuspecting, and knew he'd be collateral damage.
They bet I'd never make a fuss. But I can make the right one.
She saved the draft and opened a new document, typing a single blunt option. She printed the offer, clipped it to the evidence folder, and closed it with a quiet finality. Then she called her parents and told them to come to her apartment that evening. She hung up, placed the folder on the coffee table, and sat waiting, her hands steady. At 7 sharp, 2 knocks. Elena opened the door to find Frank and Donna, their expressions carefully composed.
You said it was important. Is everything all right?
Come in. We need to talk.
Is this still about the loan? Your father explained.
Elena cut her off with a gesture toward the sofa. She didn't raise her voice. They exchanged a quick, uneasy glance and settled onto the cushions. The manila folder sat untouched between them.
What's in the folder? Elena?
That's the dealership's camera footage, and your forged signature.
She spoke evenly, as if reciting a bank statement. I have the video. I have the stills. I have the original application with your handwriting. Donna gasped. Frank's face lost all color. The folder lay on the table. Undeniable. Undeniable. Elena opened the folder with deliberate slowness and spread the contents across the coffee table. First, the loan application. The forged signature circled in red. Then the stills, her photocopied ID, and a single frame of Frank's face, pen in hand. She clicked the laptop open and played the footage. The unmistakable overhead view of Frank Vance forging her name. Frank's jaw went slack. He stared at the screen as the timestamp confirmed the date. Donna pressed a hand to her mouth, a small broken sob escaping before she could stop it.
You committed identity fraud. I have the original application, the CCTV, and a draft fraud report ready for the bank.
We needed to help your brother. The bank wouldn't approve his application.
We never meant for it to hurt you. We thought you'd never find out.
Elena didn't react. She had known the excuses would come, the same ones from before, and now they fell flat against the weight of the evidence. Elena leaned forward and spoke as if she were reading from a contract.
Here is how this works. Transfer the car and the full loan to Brandon's name, repay the cost of my ruined credit, and put it in writing, or I send the fraud report.
That's not. The loan isn't transferable like that. It's not simple.
You found a way to forge my signature. Find a way to fix it.
Elena, please, think about your brother. He'll be devastated. He didn't know.
I am thinking about him. This gives him a chance to know the truth and take responsibility.
Before Frank could answer, the apartment door clicked open. Brandon stepped in, his face shifting from surprise to confusion as he saw the papers.
What's going on? Why are you all talking about the loan?
The room froze. Frank's mouth opened, but no sound came. Donna looked away.
Ask them, Brandon. Ask them who signed your loan papers.
Elena turned the laptop around so Brandon could see. She clicked play without a word. The footage showed Frank Vance, their father, signing her name with a calm, practiced hand.
You forged her signature. You used her name and didn't even tell me?
Frank's mouth moved, but no words came. Donna wouldn't meet Brandon's eyes.
I didn't know. I swear, I thought you agreed. I would never have let them do this.
I know. That's the only reason we're handling it this way.
Brandon looked at the folder, the stills, the unforgiving evidence, then back at his parents.
What do I have to do? Tell me, I'll fix it.
He asked it as a statement, not a question. The words cut through the silence like a verdict. Frank and Donna sat motionless, witnessing their son choose the integrity they had abandoned. Elena reached into the folder and withdrew 2 documents, each one already printed, dated and waiting. One was a promissory note assigning the full loan balance to Brandon. The other, a credit repair agreement with Frank's name at the bottom.
Brandon signs the note. Dad signs the agreement. Everything becomes official tonight.
Brandon didn't hesitate. He picked up the pen and signed the promissory note in a quick, decisive motion.
It's my debt now. I'll sell the car and pay it off, honestly.
His signature sat on the dotted line, the first honest mark that loan had ever carried. Then, Elena pushed the credit repair agreement toward Frank. The room held its breath.
I'll sign it.
His hand trembled as he scrawled his name. He didn't raise his eyes from the paper. Donna wept into a tissue, but her tears couldn't blur the ink. It was done. 2 days later, a private buyer met Brandon at his parents' driveway. The for sale sign had drawn 3 calls. He handed over the keys to a man with a briefcase, then pocketed a cashier's check for the full sale price.
It won't cover the entire loan. I'll cover the rest from my own account.
The silver sedan rolled out of the driveway for the last time. Elena watched from her own car across the street. An hour later, they walked into Premier Auto Finance together. Brandon carried the check and the promissory note.
I need to close out loan 17 to 842. Here is the cashier's check and the signed promissory note.
The balance is $31,000. This covers the full amount. I'll process the closure and release the lien.
The officer stamped the file closed. A 0 balance receipt printed out, crisp and official. Elena picked up the receipt. The loan that was never hers was finally assigned to the right person. The fraud report would stay a draft. The identity theft had been undone, not by punishment, but by precision. A week later, a letter from the credit bureau arrived. No fraud alert, no delinquent account. She logged into her credit report for the first time without a sinking feeling. The score had climbed. That afternoon, her phone chimed with a bank deposit. Frank's first monthly payment toward her credit damage.
He's actually paying it. No excuses, no avoidance.
She opened the drawer where the fraud report draft still sat. The document was now irrelevant. She didn't delete it. She left it where it was, a quiet reminder that consequences don't always need to be criminal. She closed the drawer, then the evidence folder, and finally the laptop. The battle was over. The loan was paid. The signature was hers again. Her parents would never say the words she wanted. But the bank statements said what they couldn't.
Some families heal with apologies. Ours heals with paperwork. And I can live with that.
3 weeks passed. One evening, Elena sat on her sofa, the last light of day washing the room in gold. She opened her credit report app. The score was back where it belonged. She allowed herself a small, quiet breath of something that felt a lot like relief. Then she opened her laptop and found the draft of the fraud report she'd written weeks before. She hovered over delete, then clicked. The file vanished, and with it, the last of the threats. Her phone buzzed. A message from Brandon. The text read, "Working a double shift tonight, but I am on track. Thanks for believing I could fix this." She set the phone down. Her brother was learning accountability, not just debt.
He's going to be okay. Maybe we all are.
The room was quiet. The last of the sun dipped below the sill, and she didn't feel the need to turn on a lamp. The next morning, Elena stood by the window with a warm cup of coffee, watching the sunrise slowly turn the sky from gray to brilliant gold. A soft buzz from her phone broke the silence. The screen lit up with a text from Brandon. "I am proud of you, sis." Elena's lips curved into a faint, private smile. She typed a quick reply. "You are the one doing the work. Keep going." Placing the phone on the sill, she returned her gaze to the horizon. The family hadn't broken, it bent. It would take time, but the truth held. She hadn't shouted or begged. She had simply made the right kind of fuss, calmly, on paper, where it actually counted.
Keeping my name was never about revenge. It was about being seen.
Outside, the sun climbed higher, and she felt herself rising.